Planetary remediation sounds complex, is it? Have you heard of planetary remediation? Do you think it's too complex for you and only for those really serious students of astrology? It can also help you, and I will show you how to make it really simple. You can adapt it and work with intention in your everyday actions. Do you know that even subscribing on Substack or Spotify or YouTube to your favourite astrologers and writers, and giving to charity and giving intentionally, is a living form of magical support? Isn't that just wonderful? Think now about what changes you want to see in your life, and remediation is one way to let the universe know you are ready and open for that change and creating space in your life for it. This is action, not just wishing for manifestation. I'm Sonia from Celestial Astrology and I'm your host. And if you enjoy this, please do remember to like, subscribe and engage with your comments. And remember that this can also be planetary remediation for you. In the Hellenistic tradition, astrology was never meant to be passive. It was relational, embodied, alive and devotional. And when the planets challenged us with a difficult transit, those who knew didn't just observe, suffer or complain. They responded with action. One response was called planetary remediation. This means intentional practices and actions designed to restore harmony between the native and the planets in their chart. You might think of it as a form of astrological medicine, prescribed not by symptoms but by signatures and transits. With the availability of information today, you don't need a temple priestess or a rare gemstone to practice planetary remediation. You only need the willingness to engage with the planetary forces in your own life, to get ready to live your chart, not just read about it or feel helpless about the T-square that endlessly challenges you. One of the most powerful, readily available and overlooked ways to do that: how you give, who you support, when and why. It's really all about the timing. Astrology is about time. It's why Kairos, divine timing, is part of the name of our astrology collective, Asterosphere Kairos. So, what is planetary remediation, really? At its core, planetary remediation is the art of right relationship with the 7 visible planets: the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. Do you see those planets as floating aimlessly around the cosmos? Or, like many astrologers and astro-curious, when you take an animistic view and understand them as divine beings, when we reach out at the right time, they will connect with us willingly and maybe even answer us in many wonderful ways. These beings describe the conditions of our soul and psyche, as well as our material circumstances and experiences of those around us. When they're imbalanced or afflicted in the chart, they might manifest through a sense of stuckness, struggle, or distortion. Rather than fix the planet, a modern misconception, we work instead to connect with it, to befriend it and uplift its nobler expressions. Give it the space, structure and reverence it needs. This might include wearing planetary colours or metals and jewellery, gathering corresponding crystals, herbs or plants on an altar, chanting hymns or prayers on planetary days, or playing your own music that you make sacred by keeping as devotion, aligning your schedule to planetary hours, making offerings, donations, or acts of service in line with planetary values. However, remediation is more than ritual. It's also embodied discernment, a conscious act of choosing what you consume, who you listen to, and what you give your energy and money to, supporting astrologers as a planetary act. When you subscribe to an astrologer whose work brings clarity, depth, and healing into your life, you are not just being generous, although it will be much appreciated. If you choose to, you can also practice planetary remediation. You are honouring Mercury, the translator between heaven and earth, the god of astrology. Encouraging Venus, who delights in connection and beauty. Supporting the Sun, who shares light with integrity. Hearing the call to action from Mars, the activist. Devotion to Jupiter, the bountiful mage. Valuing Saturn, the wise teacher and timekeeper. Or valuing nurturing from Mother Moon. Each writer you follow expresses a unique planetary current. You may already be aware of their qualities. it's likely to shine through their work. But also, how does it feel for you? How do you receive it? If you found an astrologer whose work feels timely or transformative, their medicine may be precisely the planetary help your chart is calling for. Just like our human relationships, you most likely follow multiple astrologers who meet your many complex needs. To support this kind of work on the appropriate planetary day is a beautifully aligned act. So on a Monday for the moon, offer comfort, nourishment, or emotional support. Subscribe to Nurturing Writers. On a Tuesday for Mars, support activists or bold truth tellers. Make donations that energize positive change. On a Wednesday for Mercury, subscribe to thoughtful communicators, buy books, support storytellers. On a Thursday for Jupiter, give to educators, philosophers, or spiritual teachers. Donate to legal aid or justice causes. On a Friday for Venus, support artists, relationship coaches, or astrologers of the heart. Give beauty, give love. On a Saturday for Saturn, commit to wisdom, discipline, and long-term vision. Support elders or serious study. On a Sunday for the Sun, give to those who lead with integrity and illuminate paths for others. Subscribe to solar teachers. The day you give adds potency to the act. Think of it as getting a clear internet connection rather than buffering. Offering aligned actions on the day of the planet you wish to connect with makes a clear connection. To reduce interference on the line, you may wish to go one step further and look up the planetary hour. When the sun rises on each day, the planet of that day, for example moon on a Monday, rules that first planetary hour. To confuse things, planetary hours do not fall into neat hourly divisions, but that's another story. The easiest way to check the hours that you desire and that fit with your schedule will be to check on a Planetary Hours app. I use planetaryhours.net on the internet and Planetary Hours, the app of the same name. It does what it says, and I can look ahead to schedule my work. Donating to planetary charities. Do you want to take your remediation further and are concerned about the needs that you see locally or out in the wider world? You can try directing charitable giving to causes aligned with charitable needs. For Saturn, consider prison reform, elder care, mental health support. For Mars, veterans support, surgical charities, or emergency response. For Venus, look at arts foundations, domestic violence shelters, and women's health. For Mercury, education programs, communication access, and autism support. For Jupiter, legal aid, religious institutions, and cross-cultural learning. For the Moon, maternal health, food banks, and housing charities. And for the Sun, children's charities, leadership scholarships, and mentorships. You could even make a small regular donation on the planetary day, aligned to the planet you are working to support or appease in your chart. This is classical magic made practical and helpful, and it's making a real difference too. My own work is living remediation. For Celestial Astrology and on my Substack, I offer astrology, astro coaching, and astro mindfulness guidance. These aren't just reflections, they're invitations for you to participate in your own cosmic story. By subscribing, especially on the planetary day relevant to your current challenge, you enter into a planetary relationship, a conscious exchange that nourishes the planet, your own embodiment of it, and the relationship between us. Maybe you wish to create an altar to the planet before you do it. You might draw the planetary glyph or add a picture related to the planet. Maybe gather some corresponding crystals or herbs, coloured cloth that's related, a glass of water. Light a candle and some incense, and just say hello. This is slow magic, deep work, ancient and remembered in our DNA. Do you want to begin your remedial practice now? I suggest starting small. Subscribe to a writer whose voice supports your soul. Make a gift on a planetary day with planetary intention. Choose one planet to support this month, perhaps one that is challenging you, or maybe connect with your Lord of the Year. You may also wish to choose what you regard as your strongest planet. This may be the easiest to connect with and build your first relationship. You don't have to know everything, you just have to begin. You will soon get to know what feels right, what works and what doesn't for you. Keep it simple and repeatable, and it will soon become a regular devotion for you. Think of it as a friendship. Regular, short check-ins are better than grand catch-ups with all the trimmings, but without the messy ups and downs of daily contact. Astrology isn't just about what happens up in the sky. It's about what we do with it, how we choose to relate with it, and welcome it into our lives. And please do remember, when you subscribe to Celestial Astrology and support my work, you're not just funding a newsletter or a channel. You're actually practicing astrology remediation in real time through your choices, through the energy of your attention and your devotion to the planet. Let's walk this planetary path together. Travel well, friends.